All right, today we are diving into the third gene key. And let me tell you, this one is a game changer. It's all about this incredible journey from our own inner chaos to the pure, simple freedom of play. So let's get into it. Have you ever felt that constant internal tug of war where one part of you is just desperate to plan and organize and control every single little detail of your life, while this other part feels totally overwhelmed, completely unpredictable, maybe even a little wild? Yeah, that's not just you. That's a fundamental human thing. And this tension, it actually has a name. In the world of the gene keys, this is called the shadow of chaos. You can think of it as a kind of primal conflict, something that's literally baked into our human programming. Every single one of us has to deal with it. So what are we really afraid of when we feel that pull towards chaos? Well, it all boils down to this one really deep foundational fear. The fear of the unknown, of life's total unpredictability. And it's this fear that powers the whole shadow state we're about to break down. Okay, so this is the key. The shadow of chaos isn't just about having a messy desk or being disorganized. It's way deeper than that. It's an unconscious state where we're just stuck. We're fighting a battle we can never, ever win. We're trying to force our rigid rules onto a universe that is, by its very nature, completely wild and always changing. But here's what's so fascinating. This inner battle, it doesn't look the same for everybody. Our fear tends to bubble up in one of two very distinct, almost opposite ways. So on one side, you have what's called the repressive nature, obsessiveness. This is that iron grip on life, right? Overplanning everything, building these super rigid routines, leaving absolutely no room for spontaneity. It's just fear dressing up and pretending to be control. Then, on the complete other side, you have the reactive nature, disorder. This is where you just totally surrender to the chaos. It's a life with no rhythm, where everything feels unpredictable because there's just no anchor. But here's the thing, both are driven by the exact same fear. They're just different expressions of it. But this is where the journey gets really good. Because when we finally stop fighting that internal battle, something pretty incredible starts to happen. Something emerges right from that tension. It really all comes down to a huge shift in how we look at things. What if, instead of seeing chaos as this big threat that we have to either manage or just give up on, what if we started to see it as the fertile ground from which everything new is born? And this leads us to the gift of innovation. Now, hold on, we're not talking about tech gadgets or business startups here. This is innovation in its purest, most essential form. It's that natural, organic life force that creates something brand new right out of turbulence. It's literally evolution happening inside of us. This quote just nails it. Innovation isn't about choosing order over chaos. No way. It happens right there in the middle, in that dynamic, buzzing space between the two. It's that creative leap forward that just couldn't happen without that initial tension. So how do we get there? How do we access this gift? Well, the answer is so beautifully simple, but really profound. It's about remembering a quality we all once had. It's about learning to see the world again with the curiosity and the wonder of a child. And this idea, this childlike way of being, brings us to the highest possible expression of the third gene key. If innovation is the creative spark, then innocence is the state of being that lets that creativity just flow without any effort at all. It's the ultimate goal here. The whole feeling of this state is captured in this beautiful Japanese phrase, yoku asobi, yoku asobe. It basically means those who play well, live well. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, life's ultimate purpose isn't to struggle and fight, but to engage with it all in a spirit of deep, joyful play. So what does this state of innocence actually feel like? Well, it's about seeing life as this grand, cosmic game. It's about having this deep trust in the flow of things, even when you have no idea where it's going. It's when your actions come from a place of spontaneous joy, not from fear or some sense of duty. You finally let go of that white-knuckled grip on needing a certain outcome, and when you do that, you start to feel like you're part of something so much bigger. So this entire journey, from the shadow of chaos all the way to the light of innocence, it's not just a cool theory. It's a map. It's a potential path for your own reflection and your own growth. So the path forward is actually pretty clear. First, you just have to recognize your own shadow patterns and do it without judging yourself. Do you lean more towards obsessive control or that reactive disorder? Second, when a challenge pops up, Just consciously look for that innovative, creative third way that exists between those two extremes. And finally, you actively work on cultivating innocence. You make a choice every single day to approach your life with a little more playfulness and a little more trust. And all of that leaves us with one final big question to think about. If life really is a game, and if you have the freedom to play it without being afraid of the outcome, what new game are you going to choose to play?